Best Studio Monitors 2023. The best studio monitor is a key decision for you as a music producer. Hearing your mixes in detail means you can improve them and iron out inconsistencies. So getting the best monitor speaker for your studio is a surefire way to drastically improve your music making. Number 1. KRK Rokit RP7 G4. If you've ever stepped foot inside the studio domain of an electronic music producer, the chances are you're familiar with the famous yellow speaker cones of KRK. The Rokit series, now in its 4th generation, is the Gibson-owned brand's affordable near-field range and has a selection of neat features which make it worthy of note. For starters, the G4 ranges among the first monitor series at this price bracket to include a graphic EQ function on the speaker itself. In our tests, the KRK Rokits came out on top as one of the best studio monitors for smaller studios, and for us, they are ideal for anything bass-heavy. Number 2. Focal Shape 65. Available in 40, 50 and 65 flavors, the latter of which we're reviewing here. The shades from Focal now sit between their budget-friendly Alpha series and the Solid 6B, another 6.5 two-way monitor in terms of price. Aesthetically, the shapes are an interesting departure from Focal's other designs. The main speaker cabinet is black painted MDF with a luxurious walnut veneer, appearing less studio spaceship and more high connoisseur. In fact, they'd look just as at home in a domestic cinema setup as in a production environment. Interestingly, the shapes are non-ported, with dual 6.5 passive radiators, one on each side of the monitor. Indeed, the Shape series would not look out of place in a home cinema setup. On the underside, you will find 4 spikes per speaker, which comes in handy for acoustic decoupling and adjusting ring angle. A two-way design, the 65s have a 1 aluminum/magnesium inverted dome tweeter and 6.5x sandwich cone woofer. The amplification is now Class D, as opposed to the Class AB design previously used, and there's also a brickwall limiter. Number 3. Genelec 8010A. At the smallest end of the Genelec 8000 bi-amplified monitor series is the 8010A. Though relatively light, 1.5 AG each, the 8010As are solid thanks to the die-cast aluminum enclosure, with metal driver grills to prevent damage in transit. Portability is key, with power and input sockets neatly tucked in at the rear. They come with tiltable isopod rubber stands attached, simultaneously taking care of axis angle and transmission reduction. They feature standard 8000 series mounting sockets for a variety of options, from truss hanging to floor stands. These are rear-ported, bass reflex enclosures, and just beneath the port is a recess housing 5 dip switches. 3 contra the low-frequency response, 2B and 4B bass tilt switch combined for 6B, and desktop control which dips 4B at 200 Hz. The ISS disable control switch is off the auto standby mode, which drops power to below 0.5 W when no input signal is present. The 8010 has a maximum output around 96 BSBL at 1 the realistic listening distance for this size monitor. We were initially taken aback by how large these tiny speakers sound. Once trimmed to match our main monitors, flicking between them is audibly less dramatic than expected, though they have temporarily replaced a pair of overtones, so we shouldn't be surprised. Number 4. IK Multimedia iLoud MTM. IK latest addition to its growing monitor range. The iLoud MTM are crammed with tech that belies their relatively low price point. The NTM bit refers to the Dippolito configuration, which, in this case, places a 1 tweeter in between 2 3.5 mid-range woofers, with the bass reflex port around the back. Everything is DSP controlled and they can be calibrated to suit your room courtesy of IK proprietary R calibration system, which is built right into the speakers, and the measurement mic comes bundled as part of the package. The NTM are clinical and brutally honest and take imaging to a level that we'd expect to hear from monitors costing 3 times as much. So mid/high details that previously went unnoticed become perfectly audible, making corrective targeting of individual elements within the mix almost supernaturally easy. Low-end solidity and control are remarkable for a speaker of this size, too, and they never really seem to get fatiguing. For those with limited desk space, or seeking a surgical secondary pair to their main fun monitors, the iLoud NTM really is a truly incredible solution. You can choose from 3 calibration settings: flat, custom, and desktop, which is a fixed filter to compensate for the standing surface. This custom setting is created via the incredibly effective iLoud optimized version of IK proprietary R calibration system. This is built into the speakers themselves, with the measurement mic is included, and will compensate your room's acoustics by internally adjusting the frequency response. Number 5. Yamaha HS5. The famous story about the old Yamaha Instant studio monitors was that they were chosen not because they sounded great, but because they didn't. The theory being that if you could mix a track to sound good on them, you could be confident it would sound good anywhere. The Yamaha HS5 series are reference speakers which are built solely with mixing and monitoring in mind. There's no Bluetooth for graphic EQ, and room correction is basic at best. For sheer accuracy, however, they are hard to beat at this price range. Get your mix right on these and it'll sound fantastic anywhere. The HS5's 5 woofer and 1 dome tweeter are bi-amplified with enough juice to make a stereo pair of these little guys plenty loud unless you're as deaf as a post. A 45W amplifier powers the woofer, while a 25W amp drives the tweeter. A continuously variable level control is provided. Balanced XLR and TRS connectors provide alternate input. The latter can accept unbalanced signals. It would have been nice if the XLR connector latched, but that's asking for the moon in a monitor with such a low price. Number 6. M-Audio BX3 and BX4. The BX3 and BX4 are the latest offerings from M-Audio, and we feel they are a fantastic option if space is an issue. The compact 3.5, BX3 and 4.5, BX4 Kevlar LF drivers and 1 silk dome tweeter offer a surprisingly good bass response and precise high-end frequencies, especially considering the price. For us, these are perfect for the beginner producer. They are simple to set up, look great, and, most importantly, sound phenomenal. Both balanced and unbalanced inputs are provided, a pair of TRS jacks and RCs respectively. In practice, the BX are very easy to set up, and with only one power connection and stereo inputs, cabling is tidy. You can also specify left/right on the active monitor, so you can position the active speaker to whichever side suits. Number 7. PreSonus Eris E8XT. The horizontal width is very obvious, and we didn't struggle to find a sweet spot. Good news with larger monitors is you're likely to be further away, and handy for group listening or tracking situations. Extra controls around the back include input gain, mid-peak and high-shelf EQ, low-cut filter, and a room correction option which curtails frequencies below 800 Hz and helps when the monitors are in corners or close to walls. The tonal balance of the E8XT is pretty good, and we didn't initially feel the need to hit the EQ. However, having abbed with some other monitors, the mid sounded a bit restrained, and a small boost from the mid EQ, 1kHz, sorted this. The E8XT delivers the sort of scale one expects from slightly larger monitors, and, coupled with the broad sweet spot and extended bass, they are great for both tracking and mixing. Build quality is also excellent, and they also offer incredible value. Number 8. JBL 1 Series 104. The JBL 1 Series 104 is a compact monitor designed for portability and convenience. It features a rear ported design to improve low-frequency extension. Audio inputs, volume control and amp are all in one unit, and a cable then connects to the second speaker. RCA and 1/4 jack inputs can both be used together to connect two sources, and a 1/8 input on the front overrides rear connectors. We found these monitors to be very well made and durable. We did find the sweet spot pretty broad, both vertically and horizontally. The 104 produces a surprising amount of welly, delivering lots of punch. There's no onboard compensation EQ, but they work well about 12 inches forward of the rear wall. The speaker tuning also delivers plenty of mid-range, ideal for balancing critical lead instruments in a mix. Highs can be overpowering, but the frequency balance is good at both low and medium volume levels. Despite a price increase since our original review, they are still competitive, and overall we found the 1 Series 104 to be a surprisingly good little monitor. Number 9. Output Frontier. The release of the Frontier near-field loudspeaker sees Output enter the studio monitors arena, with a little help from their friends over at Barefoot Sound. This absolutely stunning monitor is accented with a solid walnut base that not only looks good but is there to isolate the speaker. The 6.5/1.25 coaxial aluminum alloy drivers offer a superbly flat response, which is usually reserved for a much higher-end speaker. It makes sense when you consider it was designed with Thomas Barefoot himself. So if you're looking for an honest-sounding set of monitors that will be sure to add a touch of class to any home studio, definitely check these out. The driver unit is a bespoke 6.5/1.25 aluminum alloy combo design